Hey YouTube, Casey Classic 7 here, back in with another video. Got some NBA 2K19 here, and in this video we're going to discuss something that I said I will address back in the last video that I posted, and that is player DNA. Shout out to the big man 12 for giving me this question. He wanted me to go more in depth with player DNA. And guys, submit your questions. I have no problem answering any of them, and I'll do my best to answer all the questions in a timely fashion and all that good stuff. And you guys have been definitely giving some great questions I feel are definitely video worthy. That's just not response to a comment worthy. So if you guys keep submitting these questions, I'm gonna keep posting videos for you. So player DNA, what is it in a nutshell? You can import player DNA and export player DNA. We're gonna talk about exporting player DNA first because it's the easiest thing to do. So when you are exporting your player DNA, pretty much that's putting your player that you created or edited onto the server, and you type his name in, save and share. You can save the player DNA, all that good stuff. So it's just pretty much getting this player onto the server. That's what exporting it does. But when you are importing player DNA, which is what you're going to be doing a lot more than exporting it, in my opinion, this is where you'll be able to do all the legwork of it. This is where you're going to go to import player DNA. So player DNA was something that they introduced into 2K this year. It has been in 2Ks in the past under a different name, but the player DNA system is something I feel is been needed in the 2K series for years now, because it's probably been since last gen the last time this system has been onto the game. One of the great things about player DNA is when you're utilizing it, you don't have to import everything about that player onto player DNA. So for example, with Damian Lillard, I have the option to import both his appearance and his attributes, just his appearance or just his attributes. This is something that is definitely useful when you have a player that you created but you want him to play like a player in the NBA. This is a system that you can definitely use, which could be pretty helpful. So again, like I said, with the player DNA, you can import both, and now you have Damian Lillard right here in your player DNA, and you could you have him with all of his attributes, all that good stuff, and you can tweak his attributes, his accessories, signatures, and all that stuff. Whenever you're editing and using player DNA with NBA players and using their likeness, you can't do anything with their face and their hair and stuff like that, because it's considered a NBA player edit and not a creation of a player, if that makes sense. Even though I am in the created player screen and I just created Damian Lillard, it's still viewed as a edit of the NBA player versus it being a creation of the NBA player, if that makes sense. So whenever you use the NBA player, you're just using that player's, whenever you're using the NBA player and you're using his likeness, it's considered an edit player. It's not considered a new creation, if that makes sense. The other option, when and the more popular option I think is going to be when importing player DNA, is using the 2K server. So if you're looking for a player who isn't on the game but was still extremely relevant to basketball, player like Reggie Miller, you can type his name in. For whatever reason, there's a glitch with the downloads. You don't know how many times a player was downloaded, and with with the players like this, it's going to be a little hard to figure out which one that you should use. So we're going to use this guy because he's been updated 5 times, and import everything with Reggie Miller, or this created Reggie Miller, and here you go. And again, as you see, the appearance comes back. So if you want to edit something about Reggie Miller, you can do that. So there you go. You have Reggie Miller on your roster now as well. And that's player DNA in a nutshell. So the overview of it is a copy and paste system, and how to import the likeness and the attributes of players onto a created player or onto an edited player. If you're using it in the edit a roster screen and you're trying to edit a specific player, you can utilize it in there as well. And I think it's just an extremely helpful system. Like, let's say you wanted to see how Jerry West would play in the NBA today, under it in somebody else's body, I guess you can say. You can keep the appearance but import just the attributes, and now this player right here resembles what Jerry West would have been if you were to create him in somebody else's body, I guess you can say. So that is player DNA in a nutshell. Definitely a great addition. Definitely something, if you guys are into creating players, should look into, so you aren't creating all the players by hand. Pretty much this was added in so people who used to do the old school rosters and stuff like that, you're not doing all the legwork when creating players. You can either look into player DNA and see what players you can find in there, or if he kind of resembled a player, you can add that to a player that you're creating, and it's just a lot easier process. So let me know what you guys think about that. Definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. Again, any question that you need me to ask about, to answer any questions that you guys want to ask and need me to answer about NBA 2K, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I definitely enjoy answering these questions and going into detail and all that great stuff. So let me know what you guys think. KC Classic 7 signing out.